2020 has been the era of great news for us, like the pandemic. But rest assured, medical exams have gone through some huge, massive changes this year. For example, two of the highest quality medical exams have been cancelled and they have been integrated into one of the lowest quality medical exams that our government has ever conducted. That's great, right? There is more great news for you. NTA has successfully managed to make NEET a big advertisement for its NCERT books. No, wait, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that NCERT is bad or anything, and if you are preparing for NEET, you have to read NCERT thoroughly, line by line, in between the lines, and from cover to cover. This is how I have read NCERT. This is one book. So trust me, even if that book appears too nice and simple, but it has many hidden secrets between the lines, and it also has some chapters that have not been so well explained in any other book than NCERT, like this and this and this also. And trust me, this book has no mistake at all. Oh, maybe some, right? For now, the book that you should read for NEET is NCERT, and that's about it. No other book is required. I know that these books are pretty much useless now, but I would like to give them a shout out because they have entertained me until now, and I really like reading them. So these are some honorable mentions, like AC Datta Botany, Dinesh Objective Biology, Truman's Objective, and Truman's Elementary Biology, and GRB Objective Biology. If you are feeling adventurous, then you may try Truman's Biology, but I don't think you would require it for any of the exams. Like there are better books for the Olympiads and NEET not already. You should also try out AIMS Explorer for previous year AIMS questions or chapter wise solutions of AIMS questions by subject. These are a must if you are preparing for NEET, and also try out the previous year NEET questions. Okay, so from here on we will discuss about the books and the method to study for International Biology Olympiad. As a matter of fact, Japan was one of the first countries to be affected by the novel coronavirus, due to which the International Biology Olympiad to be conducted in Japan was cancelled. And I had prepared everything for it, but I couldn't give it even though I had qualified for OCSC. So I would like to share all my preparation tips to you so that one of you can bring a medal for our country. It's going to be a long video from now on, but watch this video till the end because it will be very useful for your IBO preparation. Okay, so I'm going to divide this IBO preparation video into three parts. NACB, INBO, and the rest of the others like OCSC, PDT, and International Biology Olympiad. By the way, this year it has been announced that the NACB and INBO will be conducted together, and on the same way it has also been announced that you should like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you can get more contents like this. For NACB, one general biology book is enough for your preparation. I'm going to suggest you 4 general biology books, and you are free to choose one of them. And I will suggest you what I would do if I were you also. It is no secret that Campbell is the Bible of biology. This is Campbell Biology 10th edition. You should buy the latest edition, which may be 11th right now. Everything in this book has been explained extraordinarily, like the chemistry of life, the cell, the genetics, mechanism of evolution, evolutionary history of biological diversity, which is the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Like this is even out of syllabus of International Biology Olympiad. So you should try to avoid doing animal kingdom and plant kingdom from this book. But if you are preparing for getting a medal in International Biology Olympiad, you should read the plant and animal kingdom this book thoroughly, because that's all you need to know about plant and animal kingdom. The subjects I'm going to mention next are the subjects that Campbell does not perform as we are expecting it to perform. Like it is the best book of biology, right? That's a big claim, but it does not reach that claim in these subjects. Subjects are biochemistry and animal physiology, and a little bit of ecology. Like the ecology is not rubbish, but it's not at the level of Campbell. like you expect it to. Ecology is also not given in this book, like it's only a subsection of a chapter, so that's not valid, right? Next is Raven Johnson's Biology. It has its own share of advantages and disadvantages over Campbell. Overall, it's also an all-round biology book for Olympiads. The subjects in which this book stands out are biology of the cell, that is cell biology, especially the molecular biology part, and the plant physiology, that is plant form and function, and ecology and behavior. I would say that the ecology of this book is unparalleled. Like it's the best ecology book that you can buy, though it's not an ecology book, it's a general science book, but the ecology of this book is enough for your biology Olympiad preparation. You don't even need a special ecology book. I have read it, the Smith and Smith book. It's a good book of ecology, but you don't need it for international biology Olympiad. It also has ethology, that is behavioral biology, and it's given in much detail, so you can enjoy that part. Like it's also like good part, right? You will enjoy it. One more thing, genetics and molecular biology are not well explained in either of the books, and I don't think it is well explained in any of the general biology books. For it you have to read special books. Okay, next in the line is Life the Science of Biology by David Sadava. I have not tried it, but I have heard that it is a very good book for Olympiad preparation. But like from my experience, Campbell and Raffen Johnson's are enough for your preparation, and you can also pick one of them only. I would also like to mention one more fact. Like in NACB, the questions are asked from Campbell and Raffen Johnson books. Like the graphs are super important. Like questions have been asked from the graphs, and they are asked every year. That's the reason why I could not forsake those books and jump straight into the specified books, because even though they give you more content, but questions are asked from those books in NACB. Okay, so like from Campbell, like the pictures are also important, like in evolution, in ecology. Even though ecology is not that good in Campbell, but the pictures have been asked in the questions. Like the demographic has also been asked, and from Raven Johnson's also the evolution part, like the frog picture was asked once, and the behavioral science part also, there was one picture that was asked, and the ecology section, like the 4 chapters or 5 chapters in ecology, like every year some question comes from that chapter, either theoretically or graphically or pictorial, like pictorial. The fourth biology book is this Green and Taylor's Biology, Green and Taylor's Biological Science, and I had been recommended this because it was like earlier in the medical exams, when difficult questions were asked, some questions were similar to this book's theory, so I read it. But it's right, like right now I would not recommend it for either the Olympiad or the medical exams. Sorry, but it's a good book, like you will enjoy it, though some things are written incorrectly in this book. Okay, so this completes our preparation of NACB tips, and right now I am going to mention the specialized books of biology. Don't worry, like there are many books I would mention in the span of the video, but there is only one book in each subject that you should read. So you should listen to this video carefully. Let's start with biochemistry. Again, a reminder that all these books that I am showing are the books that I read, so the edition would be like an old one. You should buy the new one, because like there would be many modifications in fields like molecular biology or biochemistry. With biochemistry, you get many choices like Leningus, Voigt and Voigt's, Harvey and Lothis, and Bruce Alberts also, and yeah, and Harper's and Lippincott's, and many choices, right? But out of them, I will suggest that two are the most important ones for you. If you want the most comprehensive book of biochemistry that you will enjoy reading and not just cram all those concepts up, then Leninger is the book for you. This is the Albert Leninger's Principles of Biochemistry book, and it is one of the best books of biochemistry available for all the streams. Like even if you are preparing for medical exams, Then also this book is helpful. This book is divided into three parts. The first part almost covers all the concepts that are mentioned in the Campbell and delivers much more than that. But it covers up all the concepts that have been like scarcely mentioned in Campbell, even though they are important. The second part, bioenergetics and metabolism, elaborates those concepts again, but it explains it in a physiological manner, right? So you will apply those concepts, and these two parts are very much important for your Olympiad preparation. Out of these three parts, the second part, bioenergetics and metabolism, is the most important part. While reading Leninger, you should not only remember or cram all those cycles and reactions, but you should think why this reaction is happening and like that, because similar questions are asked in Olympiads, like long questions are asked, and among them some points would be like why this reaction is happening, what will happen if this substrate is changed. So you should always ask yourself why this is happening in this book. The third part, the molecular biology part, which is named information pathways for some reason, you know that reason, but okay. So this part is not that important to read from Leninger, because you will get much better, much wider view from the molecular biology books, and it is an important part. Like many questions are asked from genetics and molecular biology, so you should read it from other book, not from this book. If you want to read some part of the third part, you should read the regulation of gene expression. Like it is given like very good in this book. The eukaryotic regulation part is to the mark, and the prokaryotic regulation is even above the mark. Like it's the best given in this book. Like even in molecular biology books, it's not given such good. And you can also skim through this book, the third part of this book, just by viewing the diagrams. Like the diagrams are self-explanatory, and the whole chapter has been covered in the diagrams, so you can just see the diagrams and skim through the book. Another good book for biology Olympiad in biochemistry is Lippincott's Illustrated Reviews of Biochemistry, like Illustrated Reviews Biochemistry by Lippincott, and it is a book for USMLE, but you can use it for your Olympiad preparation, because the USMLE questions are also conceptual questions, just like the questions that are asked in Olympiad. It has a better question collection than Leninger's, and it is also oriented for question solving, and you will get more problems and questions in Olympiads than rather theoretical and conceptual questions. But the irony in the statement is that in Olympiads they ask questions directly from Leninger's book. So I prefer that you should read this book like anyhow, like because questions are asked a lot from this book in the biochemistry section. So I would recommend you to read Leninger. Let's now come to the genetics part, which is the most important part for International Biology Olympiad. Most of the questions are asked from genetics and molecular biology, and there are very difficult questions also. So you should prepare very well in this part. The book that I think is the best for genetics is Russell's iGenetics. Like molecular biology also has been explained really great in this book. Again, the beauty of this book that it has self-explanatory diagrams, so you can, like in genetics it is really scarce that you will get a book that has diagrams that are that can explain the whole concept of the book, but this is such a book. And the second beauty of this book is that it has really great questions, like very good questions. Almost all chapters of this book are important, except the regulation of gene expression in eukaryotes, which is not so much important because it is too much detailed for a high school student, right? And the genetic mapping in eukaryotes also, that is also not that much important. But other than that, all chapters should be covered like really well. It also has detailed solution to the problems in the back of the book, so you won't get stuck in a problem for lifetime, right? Let's say that you are a molecular biology guy and you want to do a degree in molecular biology in future. So if that is your ambition, you should read Watson for molecular biology rather than any book, because it is the most comprehensive book for molecular biology at this level. And it has very vast array of information and technologies mentioned. And I forgot to mention, but Leninger also has very good tools and techniques mentioned at the end of each chapter of its book. So it's very useful for the practical and exam side of the OCSC. This is another book of genetics, Brooker's Genetics Analysis and Principles, but this is not for a read. This is a book that has very well experimental genetics, detailed experimental genetics in it, and you can use it for OCSC for learning the techniques of the tools and techniques that are used in laboratory. So the tools and techniques are not enough for biology Olympiad preparation, but I used to take it to the practicals. It's somewhat helpful in that extent, but I would not recommend you to do it, because practicals you can search through the net and you will get many great resources and videos also in YouTube. Let's pause for a moment and discuss some of the subjects that you do not need to have a lot of idea about in International Biology Olympiad. Like two of the subjects are animal anatomy and plant morphology and anatomy. Like they are not so well required. For anatomy, the best book is Gray's Anatomy, as you all know, but it is much detailed and you don't need that much. You can use it as a reference for anatomy. The next is about plant morphology and anatomy, but overall as a botany book, this is the best botany book. So it's Raven's Biology of Plants, and it's like the author is the same of Raven Johnson's, but the botany part is very well explained in this book. And if you don't have time to go to like the plant physiology and the ecology books of botany related areas, then you can straightly read this book. Like it's very well written. If you want to discover old school botany by reading anatomy, then this is the book to go. In plant physiology, I will recommend one book only, that is the Thais L. Ziegler Plant Physiology. Thais L. Ziegler. Okay, next is cell biology. For cell biology, the Bruce Albert's book are the best book, and there are two books, like the Essential Cell Biology and the Molecular Cell Biology. But I would not recommend the Essential Cell Biology. The Molecular Biology, Cell Biology is enough, and cell biology is a very important part of Olympiad, so you should better read it carefully. In physiology, there are three great books that I am going to mention. The first one is, I think this is Guyton's, right? Yes. So this is Guyton's Physiology. This is a book for medical physiology. So this has like things like pathophysiology and clinical physiology. So you don't need this for International Biology Olympiad preparation. So if you are looking for a human physiology book for the Olympiads, go for Fandas Human Physiology. It has like physiology explained in great detail about humans only. So it does not have that animal physiology part, but it has enough that you will understand it, even the animal physiology part, even if you don't read it. But there is a catch here, and let me explain to you through my own story. When I went to Kota first for biology Olympiad preparation, Campbell and Raven Johnson were the books that I had read for biology Olympiad, and nothing else. So for the first few lectures of human physiology or animal physiology, I could not understand a thing that was taught in the class. So I was recommended to this book by our coaching sir. So it's Richard Hill or Hill Wise Anderson's Animal Physiology. Special thing about this book is that it explains right from the very beginning of physiology. If you even have read until the 9th or 10th grade physiology or biology course, you can understand it. Second good thing about this book is that it has self-explanatory diagrams, so you can skim through the book really fast. I would recommend this book in ecology. It is Smith's Ecology. But if you have read Raven Johnson's Ecology, you should not need more ecology for your Olympiad preparation. But as I have seen, like I used to like score 4 or 5 marks lesser than what I scored after reading this book. So ecology is also an important part, and if you are planning to score like really good marks and get a medal for our country, then you should read this book. Now comes the third part of our preparation video, and it is about OCSC and further now. So it is about practical skills. Until this, you have to read before INBO, or you can read some of them after that also, like it is finally equivalent in IBO, but the difficulty of problems in INBO is similar to IBO, so don't neglect anything. But I would give it to you that the IBO is more difficult than INBO, in that it has more competition than INBO. So these two books for practical skills are Practical Skills in Biomolecular Sciences by Rob Reed and the Drop Biology of Microorganisms. Here are some bonus tips. Do all the questions of IBO, INBO and even NSEB before INBO. Like this time NSEB and INBO are being conducted at the same time. So you should do all those questions before that. And also try to do the USA BO and other country Olympiad questions for practice. Like the semi-final questions are really good, but the open exam questions are also important, especially if you are preparing for NSEB. A lot of questions are copied from those questions, so you should try those. Oh god, it took a lot of time to prepare this video, and if you liked the video, kindly like, share and subscribe to the channel. This is Prasoon, and I will catch you again in the next video.